Yeah. Welcome to the Social Millennial Podcast. Gang. We out here. Listen, I skipped last week, Friday. It's all right. Y'all are going to get a twofer this week. You feel me? We've been upgrading some of our systems out here. I was thinking about going into the city and getting a new studio. You feel me? Putting it together, getting some support from Smash Studios. Shout out Smash. But you know, COVID-19 killed that. I was like, yo, is it worth the risk having to go out there, possibly bringing guests to the show at Smash Studios and somebody coming down with COVID? I think not, fam. I very much so value my friends, and I very much so don't want to put them at risk. You feel me? Masks and all, sanitizing and all. I just don't want to take the risk. So I'm building up a studio elsewhere, a studio that the Social Millennial Podcast / Marcus Pena Presents is going to most certainly own. Definitely the sounds of NYC out here in the building. Please disregard the footsteps and the pitter patter of little children out here running around, running amok, and enjoying their life. You feel me? Oh, what it was to be young and carefree. But yo, I'm not even gonna get into the news. I don't know what that was about. I'm not even gonna get into the news. I have oh my gosh, I'm so tight. Yo, tell me how today they just put outside in front of my building this huge rack for City Bike. Tell me I'm not the only one who's tired of this daggone City Bike junk. Now, I'm trying my best not to, I'm trying my best to be family friendly. So you're going to hear me saying some weird, junk mess nonsense. You feel me? I'm trying to contain my vitriol, my loathing for this city bike thing going down. So I was already not on board with City Bike coming to the Bronx, even coming into New York City. I get that people want to do cool things. They want to, City Bike as a company wants to deliver transportation equity in all the cities that they're in for underprivileged communities, etc. I get that. I get the noble cause and bike sharing and so on, but fam, I'm just not with it. I'm just not. You know how many people get their bikes stolen out here? You think people ain't gonna come out here, figure out a way to pull them bikes off of them electronic racks and just use them joints and just be out here? We in the hood. We are resourceful. You don't think some young Thundercats is gonna pull them and be like, I see how this works. We got it. Bang. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bikes. The methodology to pull them off the racks and pull them out the locks is just going to spread like wildfire. At least that's what I thought when I first started seeing them come to the BX. I didn't know what was going on in the other boroughs. I know I was seeing them, but I was like, this junk better not come to the BX. Better not. City Bike was like, nigga, you thought. Gentrification, you thought. Yo, City Bikes are everywhere. It's like overnight. And it's crazy because they're everywhere. They put them down, they get fully stocked, and then the bikes are gone. I kid you not, I've seen maybe 7 or 8 people on a City Bike out here in the hood, and every single City Bike rack is empty. Where are these City Bikes going? Where are they going? They are disappearing. You're in the hood. We can't ever have nothing nice in the hood. You feel me, fam? I don't understand. Lyft owns this company. Motivate is the parent company. Apparently, City Bike is in a bunch of other cities, Montreal, etc. And they're just out here. Okay, I have a list of gripes and sub gripes, a list of just things that make me tight, that make my nostrils flare up. Facebook group from back in the day. Okay. City Bikes. Now, I get putting these City Bike bays not in the street, like putting them on the sidewalks. Like I've seen them put there And it's fire. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's out of the way. Whoever's going to use it is going to use it. Whoever's going to steal it is going to steal it. Whoever's going to trash it is going to trash it. It's on the sidewalks. I understand putting them in sort of the safety zones, the little safety areas and traffic turns and things like that, in intersections. Well, not in intersections, but, safety zones. Put them there. You feel me? Now, when I see them getting put into parking spaces, instantly I'm on 10. Instantly I'm ready to duff somebody out. Instantly. You know how hard it is to find parking out here in the city? Like in general, all over NYC. If you're in Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, you know how hard it is, the Bronx, you know how hard it is to find parking? There are not enough parking spaces for the amount of cars that are on the streets already. There's places like 161 and Yankee Stadium where everywhere blocks, people are just double parking and cops don't give you tickets because it's like, fam, there's nowhere to park. And there's definitely not enough parking lots open to accommodate people. And definitely people don't want to be paying whatever $200 a month to put their car in an enclosed parking spot. And then, all of them auxiliary parking lots around Yankee Stadium, literally 95% of them are closed when Yankee Stadium is not doing their thing, which I think is super trash. How are you going to start taking away parking spaces and the city is not going to provide parking spaces? How, Sway? How does that work? Where are these cars gonna go? And I don't mean like, oh, they're taking like two car lengths worth of parking space to put these city bikes there, the sort of city bike bays. They're taking like 10 spots. It's crazy. It's ludicrous. It's nuts. And they're expanding, aggressive expansion into the BX, and it's expansion like crazy. They're putting city bike where I'm at. They put a city bike just today in front of my house, and there's a city bike bay like around the corner and a block up. What do we need another one for? Especially on my block. Especially. I'm out here in an area of the Bronx where the streets are narrow as hell. When I mean narrow, you can barely double park. Nobody leaves their car double parked out here for super long because it is too narrow. Super narrow. I'm on a one-way street. Why are you taking 9 car parking spots, 9 car lengths? Why are you taking 9 car lengths away from a narrow block and putting the bay in the street? So it's like there's, of course, I said it's taking parking spaces, so of course it's going to be in the street. It's not on the sidewalk. It's in the street, and it's in front of a building. Are you smoking something, City Bike? Are you smoking something, local government? Because quote unquote, according to the City Bike website, they work with local stakeholders and local community boards and so on to position these bays, these bike rack bays, to pull these bikes out of. Who is on the ganja? Who is smoking the ganja? Because somebody need to get off it and sober up. Because it don't make no sense. You know the kind of Uber traffic that we get through here and Lyft traffic that we get through here? So now, in order to catch my Uber XL, my Lyft XL, you feel me? Gang, soft flex. In order for me to catch that, I have to climb between the fucking, pardon me. I have to climb between the daggone, bay locks between bikes to get to my ride share. Are you kidding me? To get to my taxi, to get to my car. These people are bugging right in front of, in a resi, not even a wide, gigantic boulevard or concourse or something. Tiny street. You just displaced families' cars out of this neighborhood. Now they got to go find parking 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks down because ain't no parking in this neighborhood where I'm at. Ain't none. Not a one. Not none. Not any. So I was tight. I was like, City Bike got me twisted. I walked out this morning and was like, yo, why are they? I saw these two dudes there with the City Bike logo on. I was like, oh, hell no. And I asked them, like, yo, why is there no parking here? Are they going to put City Bikes here? They were like sweeping the parking spots. He was like, yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, that's foul, fam. He was like, yeah, I know. And I live on a hill. I was like, on a hill? They're going to put City Bikes? He was like, yeah, I know. It don't make no sense. The dudes putting the City Bike there were like, this don't make no sense. On a hill. I live on a hill. Who's going to bring them City Bikes back? Coming up that hill. Who? I'll wait. Tight. And they've been doing that all over the city and all over the Bronx. Taking parking spaces. So I'm tight with the city for letting this happen. Because give us, if you're going to let City Bike take our parking spaces, at least start building some parking complexes. It's been too long in NYC at large, not just the BX, in NYC at large, that the city has not built parking complexes that are owned by the city so that we can take cars off of the streets. And you know how they've been over the past 10 years, they've been creating just pedestrian zones, and they've been blocking off cars from certain turns so that it's more space to just be walking and taking in the city. You could make city owned and operated parking complexes and take mad cars off the road. Now, of course, people will have to pay, but if you charge a nominal fee, and in all across the city you're housing millions and millions of cars and you charge a small fee for it, the city's gonna make guap. In 2 seconds, the city's gonna make guap. So I'm like, what in the world? Every month you have monthly memberships, you have all that. Yearly, people could pay for the whole year, and you're making guap every month. The city's making, and they don't have to hike up the bridges and tunnel tolls or anything. They just pocket it every month. So then they could even create more pedestrian zones, and the city can become more pedestrian friendly. And if you're going to drop City Bikes down, you could drop even more City Bikes down, and City Bike can make even more money because even more people are going to decide to use the City Bikes and leave their car parked, unless they got to go travel out of the city, upstate, to Yonkers or whatever, to Cross County, to Bay Plaza when they want to go shopping. I feel like this is a no-brainer. I feel like Fordham Road. And shout make sure to shout this out, like this video, and comment if you agree or if you disagree. I feel like it's been long overdue that Fordham Road has not gotten any extra parking complexes. Yeah, I said it. Fordham Road's got one parking complex up on the intersection of Fordham and Jerome, and it's been there since before I can remember, because it was there from when I was a child, from when I was born. You feel me? Long overdue that there was not area blocked out to build there should be at least 3 complexes just in that Fordham Road area, so people could park. You know how much money a company could make off of that? You know how much money the city could make if they just do it? And then come to find out, so I saw this thing here today, right? I saw them during the day. They dropped these City Bike bays in front of my building, and I was like, yo, there's a City Bike around the corner and up the block from me. Then there's a City Bike from that City Bike on that corner avenue there, that same avenue, right? Yeah, that same avenue. 2 blocks down, there's another City Bike rack. So I'm like, and none of them have bikes on them. Not one. And I'm like, okay. So, the hood gears started to turn. And so I was like, who's making money off this racket? And then I learned that they've got like a special subsidy sort of going on for a special deal for those who are in the projects, those who are in NYCHA housing, those who have food stamps and are on government assistance. They offer like a discounted rate to be able to rent them out. And so I was like, oh, no wonder why some of these joints is gone, and I see some of these kids out here rolling around. They're giving them a discount. So I was like, okay, who's making money off of this? Because this is and I'm going to be, it is what it is. I'm from NYC. This is on some white people stuff, because what company's going to put stuff out here in the hood and not necessarily, and I know it's a bad thing, I know it's a stereotype, but stereotypes come from somewhere, y'all. So if y'all want to get offended, y'all could get offended. This is the real world. This is how it is. This is how it works. When it's different, we'll talk about it differently. But for right now, I don't know what company out here is going to put this stuff in the hood and not expect stuff to get stolen. Not to have some kind of shrinkage. You feel me? In retail terms. So I'm like, who's making the money off of this? So I had to sit down and ponder. Of course, I didn't do my Googling yet, but I sat down and pondered. What if it ends up happening? And this is theory time. You feel me? This is me cooking up stories, just thinking about it. This is not anything, anything hard or fast or written in stone or that's going to happen that City Bike ever thinks that they're going to do. So I'm not out here necessarily trying to slander City Bike or anything like that. But my cogs and my wheels turning because I'm from the BX and I'm from NYC, gang. We don't just take things at face value. We try to analyze, you feel me, and synergize and strategize. What happens when that subsidy runs out and those grants run out for those for regarding the discounts for those on public assistance? That pricing shoots right back up. What happens when those individuals in the hood, the people of color that quote unquote, City Bike, oh, we're for the community. What happens when that grant runs out and that subsidy runs out and they can't offer that discount no more? I would assume everybody indulging and using and benefiting from that discount will no longer benefit from that discount and will, in the blink of an eye, have to pay full price. Now, what if those people can't pay full price? Then comes in late fees for returning the bike. Then comes in the bike missing and stolen, etc. And it's something like $1,200 or something per bike that you have to pay if the bike is deemed stolen, if you stole the bike, if you're not returning it. So could you imagine all these people in the hood out here capitalizing on this discount? If one day that discount should dry up, the kind of money that City Bike stands to make? Now, mind you, I'm kind of being negative. I'm hoping that never happens. I don't wish that on anybody. People are going through some crazy financial situations right now and continue to. Just like I was talking about stereotypes and our world is the way that it is, such is the world that many are going through what they go through in life. And it's not easy for all of us. For some of us it is, and for others, it's just not. So I don't wish that on anybody, but I'm just sitting here like, yo, why is this all over the place? And it's not like Lyft and like Uber that are companies that you just use cars, the cars move around, etc. This is an interesting sort of experiment with a company that has to place a fixture somewhere. And it's an independent company that doesn't necessarily have a synergistic contract with the city. It's not being subsidized by the city. Which is interesting. There have been people there is a contingent of people who are outraged that the city is not subsidizing City Bike, but that the city subsidizes the ferries. In my mind, I'm like, okay, it's a kind of a false equivalency. I don't know why you're outraged. The ferries are an important and integral part to Staten Island being connected. The citizens, the fellow New Yorkers who live in Staten Island, it's a way for them to be connected to the rest of the boroughs. So it's kind of a false equivalency. However, it is still true that City Bike is not subsidized by NYC, but NYC charges City Bike for the parking spaces that their racks take up, that their bays take up. And then also when you get a City Bike, NYC charges a sales tax for that. So NYC pockets sales tax and NYC pockets sort of like rent money or whatever from City Bike for their fixtures in the city. Now people are like, oh, that's foul, that's trash, NYC is making all the money off of City Bike. And I was like, you know what? I started digging, and I was like, okay, it makes sense. People got to make money. Somebody's making money off of this, because I know it really looks like it's trash. It really looks like a trash company. And they've admitted it. They have admitted. Many people have noticed, not just me, that these bike racks are empty. That there's hardly any bikes to go around. And I personally hardly ever see people riding city bikes out here. And there's mad racks, and they're mad empty. They're full one day and empty the next day. And I'm like, where are these bikes going? Why don't I see anybody on these bikes? Come to find out that they're not really running at capacity. So part of their bargain with the city, well, let me say this. Motivate Lyft / City Bike has a contract, or part of their contract with the city is that they get a monopoly for bicycle sharing all the way till 2029. So we're in here for the long haul with these daggone city bike racks. Wait till the winter comes and they got to pull all of them bikes off of them bike racks. And people paid yearly subscription, yearly memberships for these bikes. And winter's going to come and they're going to pull all these bikes out. Because the cold weather and the electricity, the electric batteries in these bikes, they do not mix. 100% do not mix. The cold weather and the mechanisms in the bike rack bay that lock the bikes in do not mix. That is a recipe for disaster. So I don't know who under my voice has a city bike yearly membership, but you should be concerned as to what is actually going to happen during the winter months, the harsh winter months here in NYC with your membership, and if you're even going to be using it during the winter months, because it's going to be cold. But we're going to see the icy bikes that people are going to be trying to use when it rained in the winter, which it happens, and then everything freezes over, and you want to go get a city bike because you paid $160 and whatever for a yearly membership, and you can't grab a single bike out of the dang thing. Yo, it looks like trash from almost every single angle that I look at it. It looks like trash. It looks like an idea that doesn't make sense. It looks like an idea that's poorly executed, like the Rev bikes, the Revel bikes. Oh my gosh, a whole other fiasco of niggas stealing bikes. Whole other fiasco of people around the city just figuring out ways to bypass the technology in the bike and just own it. Nobody wearing helmets. It took me all the way up until it was a whole scandal with de Blasio banning the Revel bikes until the company figures out a way to ensure better rider safety. It took that story happening for me to find out that the container on the Revel bike itself, in the back of it, houses a helmet. I was like, bruh, everybody out here was riding these Revel bikes with no helmet. And I used to sit in my car, walk on the street like, look at these people acting a fool on these bikes with no protection, nothing. Come to find out there was a helmet there the whole time and nobody's wearing it. And then also but think of the implications of trying to wear a helmet during COVID. No, forget about COVID. Wearing a helmet that is on a bike that is a ride share bike that you don't know who wore that helmet before you. What kind of germs is that? I don't even be wanting to use somebody else's baseball glove. I don't even be wanting to wear somebody else's hat. And y'all talking about go and put somebody else's helmet on that they done sweated in? What? I don't wear nobody else's football helmet. Why would it be okay? Why would they think that it's okay to put a helmet inside of the thing and then have hundreds of people wear that same helmet? Somebody got lice. You got lice now. How you feel? You paid for your membership. You got lice now, my guy. Somebody got bed bugs. Oh, you got bed bugs now, my guy. How do you feel about that? You feeling good? So yeah, I'm tight. Cause now, for real, somebody comes to pick me up. I want to come out, chill outside, There's a whole rack of bikes out in front of my building. I can't even go out into the street. Nobody can double park there now. It's wild. And it's double park zone on my block because the street is, and then the street is super narrow. So it makes it even worse. I can very much so see some Lyft driver or some other dude out here trying to be Vin Diesel on some Fast and the Furious stuff, revving up and by accident crashing into the whole bike rack. I can see that happening. It was wild too because when they were setting up the thing, or when they were cleaning up in the morning, when the dudes that I was talking to, I was like, yo, who's going to use these bikes? Nobody uses bikes out here. We're on a hill. I told him. He was like, yeah, it's crazy. And I told him, because we're on a hill and this is all hills here. I got a hill coming up to my building, and then 2-3 blocks down, another hill going back up again higher. I was like, yo, we use mopeds out here. And I pointed right to literally the tree in front of my building has 3 mopeds chained and parked there next to it. Chained to it and parked next to it. This is what people use. They take the moped into their house, into their apartment. And dude started laughing. Like they had covers on them and everything. Dude started laughing like, oh snap. I was like, yeah, because we're on a hill. Who's gonna bike up a hill? Even with the electric, because I think the bikes are electric as well. Even with the electric, that joint is not that strong. I can't, yo. I can't with this. And then they're not even operating at their capacity. All right, so yeah, I went off on a tangent. They were supposed to operate as part of their contract at 12,000 bikes. That was supposed to be the population of the bikes. But a lot of people in that industry are saying no bike company ever operates at full capacity. And not just that, individuals, like I was saying, besides me across the city, yearly membership holders are finding it harder and harder to find bikes. And they're wondering, where are all of these bikes going? And why is the company not replenishing the bikes? And from the company, what they were saying in terms of the state of the bikes and the state of the system is that, their big concern is disrepair of the bikes. So could you imagine, they're saying quote unquote disrepair? If they have GPSs on all these bikes and they know where these bikes are, they know that they've been stolen, or they know that they haven't been returned, could it be that these bikes got tampered with so they can't even find the bikes when they get stolen? Huh? You thought? You feel me? So it's just turning out that City Bike, and this is across all of the cities that City Bike runs in, where they're operating at like 65% of the population of the bike. And that's like over 2 weeks. Let me see. I got this article here from NYC Street Blog, nyc.streetsblog.org. Yeah. There were only 7,166 city bikes in service on Tuesday, September 25th, according to the Lyft-owned company's data, which is down from 9,112 bikes 2 weeks earlier. Whoa, that rapid decline makes City Bike, which is arguably the world's most popular bike share system, far and away the world's worst maintained system. And this is according to a Streets Blog NYC post entitled, "It's Not Your Imagination. Something is seriously wrong with City Bike right now." The journalist is Ben Jay. You guys can go check that out. That article was published on September 26th. And this was last year. September 26th, 2018. And I shudder to think what it's like now, because I can't see a single City Bike anywhere on any of these racks that they're putting up. It's like from one day to the next. I didn't know that the hood was fiending for bikes. Since when, fam? Since when? I remember seeing bikes out here, like seeing bikes when I was young, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. We were on bikes. And then we haven't been on bikes for XYZ amount of time. And now all of a sudden? So yeah, fam, I don't know what's going on with this. I don't know how. I get sizzled. Smoke comes out of my ears. Smoke. Like lamb chops playing along. Smoke comes out of my ears. You feel me? I don't know. This would make sense if gentrification had taken all of the hold on or came up to the Bronx and taken hold all of the way, because it really hasn't yet. Because, it's some white people stuff. And why I say that is because of that kind of stereotype. They'll take care of stuff, generally. It's not me necessarily talking about my people, but there's stereotypes are rooted in some form of truth. And, we always say out here in the hood, we can't have nothing nice. Because dudes is always jacking it up, messing it up, tagging it up. So everybody leaves. All the people that want to give us nice things don't want to give us nice things. But it's not so, with the other side. You feel me? They take care of stuff. So the companies want to go there. So I can understand in that instance, gentrification took hold all the way, that you'd put this stuff out here. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm waiting for some or expecting some kind of scandal to happen with Lyft and City Bike. Some kind of losses, like this huge article that de Blasio's decision to let City Bike do its thing here is the worst that could have ever happened to the city. Now we have a whole bunch of these things that have to get removed. You know what I'm saying? Or like some kind of money laundering or money something. Because this is nuts. Anyway, that was my super duper rant. I'm not really going to go into a whole bunch of news during this episode. Like I said, we're going to do a twofer. So later on in the week, you guys are going to get another dose of the Social Millennial Podcast for this week and for this month. We're upgrading some like I said, we're upgrading some of our tech, trying new things. So I'm hoping that my voice is coming through loud and clear as I listen to it on the playback, and it doesn't get too distorted, because we're doing some things with the mics and some things with the mixing, trying some new things, trying out some new techniques. You feel me? My recommendation for the week. Let's see. I've partooken in a few things. What am I gonna keep, or what am I gonna keep close to the chest, and what am I gonna put out there? All right, so I recommend something that super duper holds up after all of this time. For those who like sort of the semi raunchy teen comedies, what's the name of that? I just revisited it this week. Oh my gosh, what is it? The name is escaping me. Okay, there we go. I got it. I just revisited this movie this past week, and to me it holds up for those who like sort of that the early 2000s raunchy teen kind of comedy movies. Is a lesser known film. It's a lesser known cheerleading comedy movie called Fired Up. Now, of course, it's not going to get the best ratings on Metacritic. It's not going to get the best ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not going to get the best rating on IMDb. It's just not. But much like Balls of Fire, I think Balls of Fire, was that what I think that's what it's called? Balls of Fury, something that I had wrecked. I forget the title gets mixed up in my mind. But last week's wreck, it's not going to be, critically acclaimed comedy. But if you like that kind of thing, that kind of dumb fun premise, the movie is called Fired Up. I super duper love it. I can revisit it forever, and it'd be pretty awesome. Let me give you a little synopsis. Fired Up. F you, fired up. You feel me? Where is that? Give me the synopsis here. Some kind of nice little chill way of thing in this. Now, Metacritic, The Metacritic, the Rotten Tomatoes, and the IMDb scores are not that great, but the Google scores are great. 89%. I mean, it's pretty high. Pretty high. So very, very short synopsis. The two most popular guys in high school decide to ditch football camp for cheerleader camp, for the girls and for the glory. So yeah, I'm pretty hyped with this film. I mean, when you watch it, it's super duper quotable. There are so many quotable lines in this movie. It is not a joke. It stars Sarah Romer, Eric Christian Olsen, Nicholas D'Agosto. Who else? Danielle Ackles. Molly Sims is in this. John Michael Higgins is in this. If anybody's watched, if these names aren't ringing a bell, Molly Sims, MTV VJ. John Michael Higgins is, dang it, why is it escaping me right now? Pitch Perfect. Remember the announcers at the events? The dude, that's him. That's John Michael Higgins. Listen, it's a pretty cool little film and a pretty cool little premise. With the hilarity just ensuing. It's a pretty cool premise. So I hope that you guys enjoy it. If y'all haven't seen it, see it. I know some of y'all are not going to want to see it. Teen, raunchy. It's not super duper raunchy. It's not like Van Wilder or like American Pie or even like Harold and Kumar, which those are going to be other recs for other days, for other podcasts, for other episodes. But it's cool. I liked it. I really did. I like Bring It On. Didn't care for any of the Bring It On sequels. If you like sort of sports movies, if you like comedies, if you like teen stuff, if you just want to watch it for the nostalgia of early 2000s, you're going to be in for a treat. Michael Higgins is amazing in this movie. With all of the isms that he has now, they're in this movie. It's pretty great. So y'all enjoy that. And I hope you guys had a great week last week. I know I say it every single podcast, and I will continue to say it every single episode. So much happens in this world, for better or for worse. We go through all kinds of things. I hope y'all are keeping it together. COVID is a thing. Some of these countries are now starting to think about reclosing again, relocking down again. It's just all over the place. It's an election year. It's just wild. It's the jungle out there. I just hope y'all are maintaining yourselves mentally and emotionally, doing the emotional work so that y'all just don't go crazy. I know I got to do it for myself so I don't go nuts, So many industries are still trying to sort of clunk back into opening again. Construction out here in NYC has started to come back in phases. Yeah, just stay up, y'all. Stay strong. Everybody under the sound of my voice outside of NYC, stay strong. We can make it through this. We're stronger than COVID. We're stronger than whatever state the economy's in. We are strong, and we could do this. And then for my people in NYC, gang, NYC is not going to break. COVID's not going to break us. NYC will not be broken. NYC will rise from the ashes. We've survived too much over 50, 60, 70, 80 years. Plus that we can, that it ain't going to be that we can't make it through COVID-19. You feel me? That we can't make it through this economy, etc. Wall Street crashed and we made it. We still here. 10 toes down. We got this, y'all. Be strong. We are New York City tough. Do not forget what makes us New York City tough. Do not forget what sets us apart from the rest of the world as New Yorkers. We got this. Y'all are strong, regardless of our political differences, regardless of our preferences for our life, our preferences for our sexuality. We are in this, y'all. We are in this together. We are united as NYC, as New Yorkers. All 5 boroughs. Let's make it through this. Y'all are great. Keep being great. Keep doing your best. And I'll see you later on this week. All right. Peace.
Walking through my city, so many people passing me by, but nobody seems to know why. Street lights saying stop and go, cars zipping past me to and fro. Does anybody know now? Oh, how time is slipping. 'Cause under the surface of the push and shove is New York City. The hustle and bustle of this town I love, that's New York City. Could there be a future here? Oh, so many people giving their sweat and tears. Does someone know the way? I'm sick of taking it day by day. Oh, 'cause under the surface of the push and shove is New York City. The hustle and bustle of this town I love. Under the Broadway lights, performers working day and night, filming for the TV screen, the movie house, and in between. Heights are heights and suit to suit, magic that you always knew. Stadium sounds, the love abounds in the patter of little feet. Looking out for our fellow man, lending a helping hand, that's New York City. Coming together and taking a stand, that's New York City. 'Cause under the surface of the push and shove is New York City. Looking out for our fellow man, lending a helping hand, that's New York City. Coming together and taking a stand, it's New York City. The hustle and bustle of this town I love is New York City. That's New York City. That's New York City. That's New York City.